Okay, so this is the Sunday Guilty Pleasure Bachelor in Paradise. But it's like, whoa. I said to someone recently, I'm not asking for much, I'm just asking for the bare minimum. And then I just saw this clip a few minutes ago.
It's just the reciprocated effort. God, and I love this man. It's just like, it's this push pull. And I feel guilty. And I always feel like I'm complaining. But really, I'm just asking for the bare minimum.
I mean, that is just crazy. You know, I didn't say the love bit. Don't get me wrong, it hadn't gone that far. But I was saying, look, dude, I'm just asking for the bare minimum. So, wow, what is going on in the world with this to be a problem where, and I know whatever you say about men, you can equally say about women. I just happen to be speaking about it from the female perspective at the moment in terms of what is going on in terms of basic communication, where you're asking someone to speak to you, where you're asking someone to not leave you guessing about how they feel, where you're asking someone, there's that thing I'm often saying, talk is cheap, and the action speaks louder than words. All of this has come into play in this little snippet that I've been watching here. And of course, I know this is manufactured television. I know that, I understand that. But the aspect that I'm talking about was a real life situation where you could barely get more than 3 words out of someone, yet they wanted and seemed to expect that could be the foundation for something. So, although this is my Sunday guilty pleasure, it's actually been quite profound in terms of hearing this woman articulate the conversation that I had a few short weeks ago, where I was saying, actually, this isn't normal. And I was actually saying to a friend, is this the new normal, where maybe people are used to the social media world, where you are speaking in sound bites, where for some there isn't that sense of deep connection. It's all very, swipe left, swipe right, etc. Maybe I'm just old school, and that is not the world I choose to reside in. I choose to reside in a world where, there's give and take, where there is reciprocation, and where to build something as fundamental as communication and conversation goes without saying, not something you have to beg for. So, I'm going to continue to roll this, because the way this program is structured, the guy is now going to be invited out, and he's going to sit next to her on the couch. And Chris, who is the host, is going to ask him what presumably will be difficult and challenging questions, because if he's having trouble with basic communication with the woman he professes to love and is engaged to, then I'm interested now to see how he handles this. So, gosh, I hope there are no, sometimes you post these clips and you get weird copyright claims. So, this is from ITVB. So ITVB, I hope you are okay with me using this clip. And if it's not, of course, I'll have to take it down. But I just, I wanted you to hear it in someone else's words. But basically, I said that. I said, look, all I'm asking for here, I believe, is the bare minimum. And if you can't do that, then there's no point. And actually, quite frankly, leave other women alone as well, because it's not a nice position to be in. And just kind of watching this poor woman, crying her eyes out, it's not good. Anyway, here we go. And also look out for the dating chronicles. I've been having real fun writing those. That I've been this month, if you're watching this in real time, is my 20-year anniversary of becoming a coach and a hypnotherapist. So I was studying to be a chartered accountant. I used to say accidentally, because that's what it felt like. Accidentally signed up for a personal development course in October 2000. The rest, as they say, is history. And for the first 9 years that I was in practice, I was a relationship coach. I also wrote a monthly agony aunt problem page for Spirit and Destiny magazine. For several years, I was a media expert for Psychology's magazine. And so even if I just took that little snapshot, never mind the last 20 years of being a coach and therapist, countless thousands of conversations about relationships, hearing the things that people were going through, hearing about what they had been subjected to and all the crazy shenanigans. And so I'm finally sitting down to pull that together as the Dating Chronicles. So I've been creating, you know, the sound bites and the memes. So if you follow my transformations page on Facebook, you'll see the first couple of those. I posted one this evening. Haven't put it on Instagram or LinkedIn, etc. yet, but I probably will do. And so I'm going to start pulling all of that together, because one of the things that I really, you know, I really would love to stamp out is this craziness. I mean, relationships are so fundamental to who we are as human beings, yet my God, people make it so hard. What is going on? Yeah. I know there's a growth opportunity. There's the silver linings. There's a place for expansion. There's a place where you become, you know, more of who you are. There's a place where you discover facets of yourself by going through those relationship challenges. And one of the reasons I became a relationship coach is one of the things that have pushed me over the edge, because in September 2000, I contemplated suicide. And that was after the breakup of a relationship where I discovered my then partner was having an affair. And I always say that is one of the best things that happened to me, because it forced me into looking at who I am and what I was doing and how I was living my life. And so I am the person I am today and doing what I'm doing today. In part, a massive part of it is because of that experience, and I wouldn't trade it, because it really got me to look at myself and get to understand and know myself more deeply. And I would also love to think that we can evolve and we can grow through joy and wonderful emotions as well. So yeah, some of the craziness of relationships, there are things like this that I'm watching here, which I think are unnecessary. Speak to your partner, communicate, don't leave them guessing, don't leave them walking on eggshells, don't leave one half, in this case the woman, but it could very well be the man, but don't leave one half of the partnership to do all the work, to do all the running, and to be having to second guess. No, enough. Stop it. As Bob Newhart says, that's one of my favourite videos, stop it. So yeah, anyway, enough from me for now. I'm going to get back to Bachelor in Paradise and see how this whole thing plays out. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. It's been Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com, and that's www.transcef for Freddie, so FORMATIONS, TM as in trademark.com, so transformationstm.com. And actually, if there's anything you want to contribute in terms of, you know, fun and crazy, or even, you know, quite frankly, upsetting stories about relationships, then feel free to drop me an email. It's Marilyn at transformationstm.com. Marilyn is MARILYN at transformationstm.com. And on social media, it's Marilyn Devonish, and Devonish is DEV for Victor, ONISH, and it's / Marilyn Devonish on Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook. The place it's different is Instagram, which is the Neuro Success Coach. So yeah, feel free to keep in touch. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And if you are listening to this and you're one of those people where it's like, you know, getting blood out of a stone to get a bit of conversation, and your partner is someone who is asking for that, there's help available. There are things that you can do. Even if you just started with YouTube, there are a load of men I've noticed who now have channels talking about relationships. Now, a lot of them are speaking to women, and helping them to understand men. Stephen Speaks, for example, is one that I came across. Well, I didn't come across it. YouTube served it up to me. But yeah, there's some great things. And so I'm sure in the same way that there are men speaking to women, there'll be women speaking to men, and there'll be men speaking to men. So even if you just started there with the 3 resources before you maybe dived in and got a coach or a therapist, and let me just address that one for a second as well. For the 9 years that I was a relationship coach, a good 80% of my client for 7 years of that time were men. So do not believe the myth that men are not out there doing the work. There are men out there doing the work to bring themselves to a place where they would like to be in terms of how they show up in relationships. It's not just the domain of women. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I could talk about this subject forever. You've probably guessed that now. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you to those of you who subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is probably where you're watching this. Marilyn Devonish from transformationstm.com. Over and out. And sorry for the shaky picture. This is actually I've just realized this is balancing on my knee and I talk with my hands, so every time I move it's shaking, so I apologize for that. But of course you don't need to look at the screen, it's a still static image. You could just listen to my voice. Cool. Catch you all later. Bye bye.